school basketball tournament, and a special Saturday to recap, and we will do that for you. We're going to go through all of that. You had the opener for New Mexico United last night, and maybe you were there. 2-0, they beat Las Vegas Lights. And, oh, by the way, in the middle of all that, Tom Brady said, I'm back. I mean to tell you, we got a show and a guest list. Kind of weird to be sitting back in studio right across from my good friend J.J. Buck. Jeff Sabieta, J.J. Buck. Gato Roberto's in for A. Marie again today. How y'all living? Happy Monday.
What it do, and one thing we learned is Tom Brady hates college basketball.
I saw that tweet somewhere, and I'm like, yeah, maybe that's right. If you wanted,
Like, really, Tom? Not now.
right during the selection, I saw the
Give
tweet.
us 12 hours.
So I saw the tweet, and I honestly didn't. I thought it was a joke, and then I kind of went, wait, no, that's from his verified checked account. That's is this real? It's real. Tom Brady's back right in the middle of them announcing San Diego State will play. I mean, what the hell is going on? It's so much. Let me open the phone lines right away because we got a big guest list for you. If you want to get in, the first hour is going to be a good time for you. Area code 505-246-0610. That's how to get here. 505-246-0610. That also will serve as the Sports Animal text line. You can send text there. Emails Jeff or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. And, of course, Twitter _JJ Buck. And the Facebook, Adrian's producing on ProView Networks. We're there for you. And what a weekend they had. The OD in the AM. JJ, I looked at this whole thing, and I guess Brady, with everything else, although I was giving you our guest list, wasn't I? 8:15, Greg Brown is going to be with us. Greg is the head coach of the undefeated 5A boys state champions, and so much history was made by Volcano Vista with the 66-55 overtime victory over Las Cruces in the pit. Third time, I think, in the history of high school basketball, you had an undefeated big school champion. First time ever with boys and girls at the same school went undefeated. So much history. So we're going to talk to Greg at 8:15. 8:30, Sebastian Noel is going to join us from ProView Networks. We'll recap the whole thing. I want to talk to him about Jose Murillo's 40-20 performance and Highlands victory, their first state championship in 50 years. And then at 9 o'clock, Chris Jans will be with us, the head men's basketball coach in New Mexico State, the WAC champions again, and on their way to the NCAA tournament. Biggest story, as you sit here, I mean, because all of them are big, and I know the biggest story in the world is Tom Brady, but, I mean, to you, what's the biggest thing?
Well, to me, as we sit here, it was what we experienced locally.
Yeah, I think so, too.
This weekend, on Friday and Saturday. Then the bracket release, Mountain West, New Mexico State, and, of course, United season opener. So local headlines because the experience of going through last week, being in the Las Vegas conference tournament, seeing a lot of those teams in action again, and then coming out of the weekend with state champions. And it was an incredible 5A boys title game that goes to overtime. And it lived up to the hype, but it was also a really interesting game overall because of the challenges for both teams within the game.
All right, we're going to get there. You're already ringing the phone lines, and I invited you in early because we're going to move, so let's go. Robert, you want to get in on Tom Brady, so let's start with you. Hello, Robert. Robert. All right, Robert, thanks. I guess you didn't want to talk about Brady. The headliner on Saturday Night Pit, and I was out there early in the day just for a little just experience. I got off the plane, went over there, and then had some lacrosse to head to, and was really wanted to get out on Saturday night. Everything looked good about it. Everything from the crowd to the expectations to an overtime game to a thriller to, I mean, what might be an instant classic, huh?
Yeah, and for me, it was how good defensively Volcano was. The speed, the athleticism, like Las Cruces were about, I'll say like 75% of the game could do nothing in the half court. Like, they never were really able to run an offense. There was a point in the late night game in the fourth quarter where they just kind of willed their way back in it because they had Isaiah Carr and Deuce Benjamin. Like, there wasn't a lot of good basketball played by Las Cruces, just how good Volcano was. It was like, we just got to find a way for our best players to make plays, which they did late. The whistles got interesting, and that's part of what I'm talking about for Volcano Vista, because there was a stretch there where everything was going against them. Las Cruces goes on a huge run. Las Cruces takes a lead with 1:16 first lead. It felt like in the game
Like, okay.
for Las Cruces. The energy in the building was fantastic. The student section was outrageous. I think that's the loudest I heard the pit all season long.
Yeah, and it might have been. It might have been as packed as it was.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not. That's not a sarcastic
It was
knock. I think
the
that was
Volcano
crowd.
Vista students were unbelievable.
Yeah. Art, good morning to you. I know you want to talk about the Mountain West last week. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Jeff. Yeah, I thought, I thought when the committee was doing it, they didn't really do the Mountain West any favors as far as matchup goes. I think the one I saw that a possible next round would be I think Wyoming should be able to get by Indiana. Then I think they might be able to handle St. Mary's, but the other seedings, excuse me. I thought they really got tattooed. I'll just listen in, brother. You have a safe. You and JJ have a safe Monday.
All right, Art. Thank you. What a great week out in Vegas. All right, so Boise State is in the 8-9 game against Memphis, which I think. Look, let me preface this. There are no easy games at this point. There's just not. I mean, Montana State's going to be a 14, and they're playing somebody big. And I watched that Montana State team in person. I watched them the other night. There are no easy games right now. San Diego State 8-9 game. They got Creighton, and then Wyoming. Colorado State is a 6. They get 11 seed Michigan. I don't know that I think I don't. Where would you rather them go? You know what I'm saying? Where would you rather some of these teams be? I think San Diego State can play with Creighton if they can score. The San Diego State I watched in the first half on Friday night. JJ, they're so good when they can find a way to score. Then they scored 12 points in the first 10 minutes in the second half. Then they couldn't find a way to score against Boise State. Boise State can defense. The Boise State Memphis is going to be really interesting because can their defense and can I tell you? I think Boise State is good defensively. I know statistically they're not as San Diego State. Just watching the eye test, watching what they do to teams. Do you think that's a stretch?
I don't think it's a stretch. I guess I would say Boise State we never gave them as enough credit as we should have.
Every week you think they're going down.
Defensively for it. And here's the thing for the Mountain West. When you look at the seeds that were given out, Boise State had a bad non-conference. And they were fantastic in Mountain West play. And I do think that it's a little rough for them as when you get 4 teams in, when you see some of the rankings overall, that they did get an 8 after winning the regular season and conference tournament championship.
And then CSU gets a 6.
And CSU gets a 6.
Yeah.
So I think Boise State was a little bit better than that. But it's also, you got to look back, and they had bad losses early in the season.
Cal State Bakersfield.
And so Boise State's having a lot of fun complaining their life away. How about just go beat Memphis and go from there?
Yeah.
And yes, you got a tough second-round matchup, Gonzaga.
They're all
if
tough,
you win
man.
that. But go win that game.
I don't think they're going to win. I think Memphis is nice.
I think I'm actually opposite. I think the worst matchup is Indiana.
I don't know how Wyoming's going to beat Indiana. I agree with that. We're going to go through all of that because I want to get through all those opponents. Robert's called back. He is on this line. Hello, Robert. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, gentlemen.
What's happening?
Hey, I wanted to get in before Edward threw out his diatribe on his man crush on Brady.
Yeah, do that.
Hey, how would you like to be the guy that spent $500,000 on a ball that's deflated now and worth nothing?
That was $518,000 on his last touchdown pass that went this weekend. And sorry, it's not his last touchdown pass. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry, Sap, he is, huh?
Yeah.
Hey,
yes.
I kind of find that Brady is a little tacky on the way he did his retirement right at Super Bowl and turned around and did it the morning or the afternoon of Selection Sunday. It's like, are we reaching for a little bit of glory here or what? What's the deal with that?
Yeah,
you know?
Because if you're going to get lost, I don't know, you can play it both ways. Maybe it'll just slip through, but you're Tom freaking Brady, nothing's slipping through. So you're trying to steal the thunder from the the timing was bizarre, Robert. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys have a good day, man.
All right, see you. Thanks. 505-246-0610. I mean, what do you think of the timing on it? It was.
Well, we're all geeked for brackets, but
He didn't give a damn.
free agency starts in 2 days.
That's right. Amari Cooper got traded. Yeah. Kirk Cousins.
So it
got
was like
$35 million.
So he just released Saturday, Sunday. Today, it just had to come out before free agency.
Yeah, I guess within 2 days. I mean, would it be better this morning? Would it have been better in the evening? I imagine. All right, we'll go. I got to take this break. 505-246-0610. When we come back, I will continue on the phones. We've got, if you want to get on United, you can. The high school tournament was off the chain. Jose Murillo with 40 and 20 for Highland in their victory. The girls, Volcano Vista, undefeated. So much good stuff. We'll recap the Mountain West week as well. 505-246-0610. Glad you're with us this morning on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue.
Difficult.
Well, they're all going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's. I think the 12 was really surprising because it felt like it was just dead set on 13.
Yeah,
and
I
so
think
you're
that's
looking
right.
around and you're like, all right, what 4 seed do you want? Arkansas, Providence, not feeling great about Illinois, and they come out with the 12-5 matchup against UConn, a team that has really good guards. But here's the thing with New Mexico State: if they show up defensively, they can stay in that game. Now it's just, what does UConn do against Teddy Allen and Jabari Rice?
So I'm going to tell you that's as good as this could have been for them. I mean, would you have rathered to play Houston? I don't think so. Would you rather play Iowa? I just watched Iowa win the Big 12 or the Big 10. I don't think so. I know some of you say I'd rather play St. Mary's. I don't think you realize how good St. Mary's is. This was as good as I think it could have gotten for New Mexico State.
Yeah, and it's where you pick the least best team is what you're doing on these seed lines, because everyone is a good basketball team at this point in time. So UConn, I think, St. Mary's is a good basketball team. They're not as daunting athletically. So I think that's probably where you look at it and say maybe a better chance overall. Is UConn has got some very athletic bigs, and Will McNair and Johnny McCants, it's your time to shine.
Go to work. I think Johnny was terrific in Vegas. I got some thoughts on the tournament too, in what I experienced in Vegas. All right, 2 lines open, 505-246-0610. Dan, good morning to you. Thanks for holding. What's up, Dan?
Good morning, guys. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. What's up?
That young man from Highland High School is
Jose Murillo.
freaking incredible.
Yep, 40 and 20.
40 and 20, man. Double-double. Did you take a good look at that young man? His feet, his hands. What is he, 6'10", 6'9"?
6'9", I believe. Yeah, I believe 6'9".
I think he's going to be a 7-footer once he grows into all of his appendages. Man, he moves light on his feet. He must have played soccer or something, because that young man he's something special. Congratulations. And then Volcano Vista, that must be a national record that they have. I'd like somebody to check into that. But how many teams go undefeated like that all the way to the end? And what a great show for the community and the state. I mean, just awesome. And then just one more thing. The path to the Super Bowl just got a little more difficult for Mr. Russell Wilson, wouldn't you say?
Well, I think for everybody. Tommy.
Not only having to go from sea level to 5,000 feet and make that adjustment, now he's got to go. So Que le vaya bien. I hope it goes well for him.
Yeah, it's in the other
you
conference.
guys have a great day.
Yeah, see you. I mean, it's in the other conference, so you could say it got a little easier to path to the Super Bowl, but with Tommy coming back. Jess, how you feeling about Tommy?
Well, I said it when he retired.
Yes, you did.
Tom Brady's a butthole. And he's a butthole now. Luckily, JJ let him off the hook. It is 2 days before free agency. He could have done it today.
Or he could have let them. He could have let them know what was going on, and it made his announcement today. He could have done a lot of things.
I mean, I guess I'm not as thrilled as others. Honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think the Tampa Bay Bucks regressed last season. They weren't anything like they were the season before, and I don't think they got any better. We'll see what they do in the offseason, but that doesn't scare me. And I don't think Russell Wilson should be worried because the chances of Tom Brady making that Super Bowl again, I mean, look, we all said it in this last postseason, right? Well, I'm not betting against Tommy until he proves me wrong. Well, he finally did it this last offseason. They didn't have it. And the Rams were better, right? And so, I mean, I just don't find it that big of a deal. Hopefully I don't lose you as I'm passing San Felipe Pueblo over here. Because I wanted to say congratulations to the Pecos Panthers basketball team. I know it's not the championship you wanted, but Malik and those boys over there are going to learn a lot. And I think a lot of the times, especially as parents, you see your kids learn more from those difficult losses than they do from the wins. And that tells me that team is poised and ready.
All right, we're losing you at San Felipe Pueblo. All right, Jess, I appreciate it. In Pecos was the runner-up in their tournament. Look, you learn lessons from the Red Trophy too. Now, don't get me wrong, right? You're going to learn the whole time. How big of a deal competitively? I understand how big of a deal it is in regards to Tom Brady and the GOAT and everything. How big of a deal do you think it is competitively that he's back? I think it's a big deal for Tampa because it keeps them relevant. But does it? I don't think it thrusts them to the front of the pack again, does it?
To that point, Jess is correct. They're not the Super Bowl favorites, but they're a contender. They were not a contender. Now they are a contender. And that's really all you want right now is to say, hey, we have a chance to compete with these teams. Like the Broncos with Russell Wilson. They have a chance to compete with a Buffalo, a Kansas City, a Cincinnati. Now they have the quarterback. And for Tampa Bay, you still feel that you're in that situation. And with what you've been able to do is get guys, veterans, shorter contracts, able to come in, keep adding some pieces, and you can continue to do that because Tom Brady said he's going to play at least one more season.
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't know that I say all of a sudden, though, that's the team to beat. It's a team to beat, and we'll have a whole better idea after free agency, which starts here in a couple of days. But they lost in the second round, right, in the divisional series to the Rams. So wouldn't you say the Rams is currently constructed? Would you say the number 1 seed Green Bay is more of a favorite than them? Look, they'll play this thing out, and I don't think Tommy's going to get any younger, and I don't know that I think he's going to get any better, but it makes them relevant, and it makes it interesting again. Jose, good morning to you. How you living?
Hey, good morning, Mr. Three-Time and Mr. Fantastic. Good morning. The time change is kicking my butt, though.
Yeah, I thought I was going to go to bed early last night, too. I thought I was tired coming off 4 days in Vegas, and I rolled around until 3 in the morning.
Yeah, man, it's rough. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Definitely warmer weather coming our way, so that's good. Hey, earlier in the week, I saw our insider, Adam Schefter. He was on some show, and he called it. He said Tom Brady is coming back. Now, he said that he will start for the 49ers come week 1. So, it's going to be interesting.
Why would they trade him?
Well, just because of all those things that Jess was talking about that they didn't do in the offseason. I think he's looking maybe to come back home and maybe try to do something, closer to where he started, as far as, where he's from. So, we'll see. I don't know. Adam Schefter, he's kind of, he knows a lot of what's going on the inside. So, I mean, he definitely knew he was coming back. Now, about the playing for the 49ers, I guess, we'll just have to wait and see. But that could be interesting. Something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it is. All right, man. Appreciate
All right,
you.
boys. Have
See
a
you
good one.
later. All right, 505-246-0610. Why? I got to dump that quick. What line was that? I just don't want to dump the wrong one. Dang. Look at
And
me.
by the way, in Tom Brady in that playoff loss, they lost by 3.
Well, and on his last drive, he scored a touchdown, if you recall. Like it's not like he was horrible in that. Now, he had a rough first half. But let's recall the last drive Tom Brady had.
Yeah,
his team scored a touchdown. Yeah, but he brought him back, and he scored a touchdown with under a minute to go, and you all were certain, as was I, if I'd have been watching it, that they were going to win that game.
Cup.
So it's not like he went out there and soiled his shorts, right? He was pretty damn good. All right, we're going to get back to the phones. If you're there, please hold. Got to take this break. 8:15, Greg Brown, Volcano Vista's coach, boys coach, is going to be with us after their undefeated state championship overtime victory. Sebastian Noel from ProView Networks at 8:30. And the New Mexico State men's coach, Chris Jans. They're going to the NCAA tournament. He'll be with us coming up at 9 o'clock. You get that little spring feeling in the air? You sure do. Going to start to warm up. It's now daylight savings. Time to get out, be active, get moving. Guys, how you feeling? Gentlemen, are you ready for spring? If you're not, if you're tired too often, feeling sluggish, put on a few too many pounds, or even you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, give NuMale a call. NuMale helps men all over the country deal with these very natural things, and the phone number is 505-652-1688. You can go online at NuMale. That's NuMale.com. So why are so many men visiting NuMale? Because it works. NuMale utilizes industry-leading testosterone replacement to help men deal with very natural symptoms. Fellas, the reality is, as you age, there's a really good chance you're going to be affected by these natural things, but you don't have to succumb to them. Call NuMale at 505-652-1688 and take care of it. NuMale's right here in Albuquerque. They're convenient, and it works. That's the beauty of NuMale. The results are real. Call NuMale at 505-652-1688. That's 505-652-1688, or visit NuMale.com and feel better.
Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast.
Utah State's in the NIT. You got a bunch of teams. Lobo women will find out their destination. Where you're, are you staying home or are you traveling this week? You don't know yet, do you?
I'm gonna believe we're staying home this week.
All right. 505-246-0610 opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Gato Roberto's in today for A. Marie. Thanks for getting up again this morning and doing the daylight savings early morning. Makes it a little earlier, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially yesterday morning across the hall.
Yeah, I'll bet that felt good.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's good times. It's always that Vegas weekend, too, JJ. It's always coming back. And you didn't sleep all week, and you get an extra. Oh, you lose an hour. That's right. So that's how it is. Ruben, good morning. Thanks for holding. What's happening, man?
Yeah, good morning. I don't understand that committee. I don't know if it's the same people every year for the selection committee, but it seems like the Aggies are, okay, they got a 12, but they're either a 12 or a 13. They never get really respect. Then I wanted to ask you, look where they put Kentucky. Can you tell me who's going to beat Kentucky in that bracket?
Well, Purdue's a nice team.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Is Jose Murillo a Division I player?
So I'm going to ask Sebastian that. Yeah, thanks, Ruben. I haven't seen Jose Murillo enough. Is he a Division I player? I mean, the little bit I saw of him this week, I don't know enough. So we'll ask Sebastian Noel that when we talk to Sebastian, who's seen him quite a bit. That'll be at 8:30, and hopefully Ruben will be able to get you an answer on that. Kentucky's bracket, I think they get through St. Peter's. They get Murray State or San Francisco, and I like San Francisco in the second round. I think they get through them. I just think they're that talented. Although San Francisco is an interesting team. With the guards of the Murray State-San Francisco game, it's a really sneaky good first-round game. I think Purdue comes out of the other side and in the round of 16 gives them a battle. And then obviously if Baylor gets through or UCLA or St. Mary's or North Carolina, there's something there. I mean, I think they've got a pretty good path to the Sweet 16, don't you?
Yeah, and as a 2 seed, you put yourself in that position. And for Kentucky, if you look at the potential round of 32 games, Sweet 16, yeah, it looks easier than those other games, but that's the position you put yourself in when you get a 1 or a 2 seed, and some of the 2 seeds in different positions. And everyone talks about it. The reason is teams in quote-unquote power conferences have more opportunities to win and solidify their resume. And New Mexico State as a 12, you talk them into an 11, okay, they're not going to be much more than that.
Yeah, hey, look, on New Mexico State, and they could be, because you see a Davidson, and Davidson's an A-10, that's probably not even the right example. Murray State's probably the right example. There's 4 bad losses on there. There's 4 bad, well, probably 3 bad losses. No, I'll give you 4. New Mexico, Chicago State, Utah Valley, and Sam Houston are considered bad losses. Now, the WAC was out of 32 conferences, JJ, the WAC in final KenPom and net rankings, I think, came out 14th. Like, the WAC isn't this horrible conference that some of you love to tell me it is. I'm not telling you it's a Power 6 conference either. The WAC was better, but the loss to New Mexico was a 160 loss, right? Net, whatever New Mexico was. Chicago State loss was brutal. And then Utah Valley wasn't good, and Sam Houston wasn't good. So and what are their good wins? Well, they got the Davidson win was a really nice win. Winning at Washington State was a good win. But that's why, Ruben, in their number, to be honest with you, I think they got a ton of respect. I think they got a 12 based on what they've done in the past, like reputation of what they've done in the past. Because if you just said 13 and JJ, if they'd have fallen to a 14, I don't know that there'd be a big argument on it. 14 would have been tough. I thought 13 is where they'd sit.
I think 14 would have been tough because what you just laid out, I think the WAC did help them a bit more than it has in a long time this season.
But again, with those 4 bad losses, and there weren't any, you don't have the win to hang your hat on like in years past where they beat Miami, right, when Miami was ranked 5th, right? Or wins, that year they pushed Kansas to the brim, but they've always had a good win. Their best win is Davidson. They followed that up by getting run off the court by Utah State the next night. So I think the Aggies, to be honest with you, I thought they got quite a bit of respect. Hello, Lenny.
Morning. Well, I don't want to talk on here today just because I haven't digested the bracket before I start making my picks and bets. Well, let's have some fun with the Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson domino effect now.
Yeah. No.
First, I feel bad for the guy who spent $518,000.
How about that?
Because that ball just went from $518,000.
It deflated in value.
Down to, I spoke to friends this morning. They said maybe $15,000.
It certainly deflated.
Beyond deflated.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
a bad
and
break.
The timing of it. So I wouldn't feel so bad if it would have been like 2-3 weeks later he announced it. But he announced it within 24 hours of this guy dropping that much money.
I know. It's a
But
bad
then
break.
that shows you in the comparison. We go back to the kid who gave back the touchdown breaking football. If this sold for $518, that ball would have sold for closer to $1 million.
And that would have kept its value because, well...
Well, that doesn't matter because he broke the record.
Right.
And
That's
anything that happens after that is irrelevant because it's
That's
the one
correct.
ball that broke the record.
Yes.
After that, you're just building on it. So now, with him back in play, now you really got Carolina, Pittsburgh.
Who are you talking about? You're talking about for Deshaun?
Now for Deshaun Watson in Seattle, all in play for Deshaun Watson.
Do you think Miami's still in play?
Do
you think
Miami maybe? But if I'm looking at all those teams and the haul that Seattle just got for
Russell Wilson,
their quarterback,
Russell Wilson,
I would take all of those picks, add another pick and a player, and get him there. Because then you're still throwing to Ty Lockett, Metcalf, and now Noah Fant.
It's interesting. How would he play?
Pittsburgh may not have Juju Schuster.
I think a smaller media market plays well for him. Look, this is going to be an initial PR issue, no matter where he goes. Okay.
But wait, okay. But Roethlisberger survived it.
Yeah, no, he did.
True,
He
it was
did.
only a couple of issues. Now we're talking about. How do I say this? I don't believe in what he did is reprehensible. But what Ben Roethlisberger did allegedly in the bathroom is no different.
And he ended up becoming a hero in that town. I agree with you.
And got a 6-game suspension that was dropped down to 4.
Agree with you.
So at the most he's going to get is a 6-game suspension to 4, because you can't take any other further punishment because of the fact that if you come back with 9 no true bills, not even one indictment of the 9, what does that say to the
No, I understand.
The ability to prove the case in court? Civil court's totally different. He's going to lose in civil court, so he's going to settle. So whoever trades for him knows they're going to lose him for about 6 games. But he's 25 years old, and he's still a top 6, top 7 quarterback. And the NFL has a way of forgiving it. NFL is not like baseball. You get in baseball, you get in trouble for doing what they do. They hit you with severe or stiff penalties. They don't play games.
No.
You're out a quarter or half a season, and they're not negotiating it down. You negotiate with them, you might get even more added on.
Seattle's an interesting spot for him. I think Seattle. He plays well in Carolina. But to your point with the haul, what do they have to give? If they package that whole thing And hell, just throw in one more player. They essentially would have traded whatever that one player is.
I would take that whole haul.
Yeah. And turn
try
it around.
To keep Noah Fant, obviously, because they need a tight end, and hopefully they don't ruin him like they ruined Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, but that was late in his career. Noah Fant, there's nothing to ruin yet. Noah Fant hasn't become, right,
no,
JJ?
But Noah Fant's a decent tight end, a good tight end.
He's fine.
And he had good numbers last year with bad quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's fine.
And then you still have Metcalf and Lockout. Okay, and just trade. And if they do that, they win the Denver trade. Pittsburgh, you don't know what you're going to have. Carolina, who do they really have for receivers? Their number one receiver is Robbie Anderson. Not putting anything down. He's a good
DJ
receiver.
Moore.
But is he something you get excited about?
DJ Moore's really good. But what they've got in Seattle is better. I'll grant you that. No, Metcalf and Lockett is better to me. Don't you think, than Moore and Anderson? Yes. So no, Seattle's a nice place and to start all over, and it's a smaller media market and it's a very liberal city, and how are they going to handle that? I think you're going to have you'll battle the PR fight off the top, and then to your point, Ben Roethlisberger fought his way through it and became a beloved star.
You know how you do this? If it goes in and wins, no one cares.
I think that's right. You're going to have to deal with it initially, right?
Right, and I don't care if it's one case or 22 cases. Roethlisberger did it once. It doesn't matter what you do.
No, that's right.
You did it.
Look, and when you're accused, it stays with you. I mean, that's who you are in a lot of people's minds. So it's a hard one to scrub off. All right, man. No, it's good, Lenny. Thank you.
But I'll talk to you during the week. But I'm gonna pull one upset. I'll go with New Mexico State being the 5-12 upset.
I like that too. I absolutely do. Thanks, Lenny. I like New Mexico State on the 12-5 line. JJ, I get it. UConn's good. Everybody in this tournament's good. That's as good of a matchup they were going to get. Now, I hate that basically it's a road game for UConn, going all the way across the country to Buffalo. But, I mean, you're a 12 seed and they're a 5. They're going to get the advantage. I'm okay with their matchup. Let's talk to Chris Jans about it, the New Mexico State head coach. That's going to be at 9 o'clock this morning. Looking forward to talking to him. I'll get you some thoughts on the tournament when we come back. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. 505-246-0610, and you can get in. Are you prepared financially? You prepared for your taxes? Are you prepared for retirement? Kirtland Federal Credit Union is your one-stop shopping for all your financial needs and to hit your goals. You want to improve your home? You can turn the value of your home into cash. Use your home improvements, upgrades, more. Get the cash out of your home. If you need a new home, you can choose from a wide variety of mortgage programs and partner with a team of friendly and knowledgeable mortgage experts. Planning for retirement? Investing for retirement starts with Kirtland Financial Services. You can talk to an advisor today and start walking the path to a confident future. What about looking to buy a car? With competitive rates and unbeatable service, Kirtland Federal Credit Union can help you drive away in the vehicle you want with payments you can live with. How can they help you today? Open up an account, make a payment, check your application status, become a member. You can do it all online. It's banking made easy, and you can save time and money with free tools from Kirtland Federal Credit Union because banking should be easy. Check them out. You can stop by one of their branches or go online. Kirtland Federal Credit Union's website is kirtlandfcu.org. kirtlandfcu.org. Membership eligibility required. See a representative for details.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
You trusted your home or business security to a company with an armed response. They sold out to a national corporate giant, and you're stuck on the brink of less security. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here, and I care about your home and business as if it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours. With faster response times to catch criminals and less associated costs. Call 897-2420 or go to ipsglobal.com.
Well, I'm going to
10, the sports animal.
Tommy's back. Kirk Cousins got $35 million. That's more than Tom Brady makes, by the way. Tom Brady's on a 2-year, $50 million contract. Aaron Rodgers got $50 million for 1 year. Tom Brady's won 7 rings. Aaron Rodgers won once. Well, he's won more MVPs, Jeff. Yeah, no, I'm well aware of that. 505-246-0610. We got a ton of hoops to get through. Chris Jans is going to be with us coming up at 9 as his Aggies are going to Buffalo to take on the 5th seed Connecticut Huskies in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Text line is open at 505-246-0610, and that's also the number to get in. Let me read you some text, JJ. This says, as I previously stated, Mr. Tom Brady wasn't going to retire no matter his claims to the contrary, yet the continuing Mr. B ain't going to win the big one. Okay. This one says people should prepare themselves for the I never planned to retire, or I said it, or I meant it tour, starting with Tom Brady, culminating in the ratings anemic Super Bowl 60. Super Bowl 60. Holy smokes, we're 4 years away from that one. Please, someone develop the tech that rids us fans of annoyingly elevated, hardly worth the attention players, a.k.a. Tom Brady, essentially putting them out of our misery. Annoyingly elevated and hardly worth the attention, Tom Brady. If anybody's worth attention, it's kind of Tom Brady. Look, you can filter through your stuff, can't you? Right? Did you have to listen to Tom Brady stuff yesterday? With all due respect, I saw the tweet.
No one thought he was retired. No one.
Very few. Yeah.
No one. We all expected this. We all saw this coming. So when it finally does happen, it's news. And by the way, you can dislike Tom Brady because it's what you do as fans.
Yep.
You dislike the guys that are the best at what they do in sport. You think they're the worst because they beat your team over and over and over and over and over and over and over. The thing with Tom Brady, we're not saying, at least us right now, that Tampa Bay's Super Bowl favorites, but they can be right there to compete with that guy at quarterback.
There's no doubt. Did they get better yesterday? Yes. It was Blaine Gabbert or Tom Brady. Who do you think they got better?
I don't get where these people are. Like, Tom Brady played a bad first half. Guess what? He brought his team back, was sitting there with the lead until Cooper Kupp was unbelievable. Matt Stafford dropped a couple dimes.
Yep.
That happens. Or Patrick Mahomes in the second half. Now people think he's trash. It's like, slow your roll, y'all. Slow down. I get it. You love to try to enjoy it in the moment. These dudes ain't done.
But by the same token, if you don't want to consume it, you don't have to. Like, I got very little Tom Brady stuff yesterday. I was way more into the hoops.
Brackets, baby.
Yeah, the brackets interested me more than the hoops and the soccer yesterday and everything else. We'll get into United at some point. Hey, I know we're going to have Jans on, Chris Jans, the New Mexico State head coach. JJ, Friday night, and I know I saw you tweet me saying this. I've been going to the WAC tournament on Friday nights at the Orleans for a number of years. And the atmosphere was always decent because New Mexico State showed out. By the way, I sat with your buddy Sed Bonner. He asked about you, and I spent the whole game with Sed. It was actually really cool to catch up with him. By far, the best atmosphere I've ever seen at a WAC tournament in Vegas on Friday night. Because not only did New Mexico State show up in big numbers, Grand Canyon's fans showed up in big numbers. These two programs obviously don't like each other. I don't even know if they have much respect for each other, although they will tell you they have respect for each other. And I think they do. But, JJ, the atmosphere, look, I spent time at the Pac-12. Now, when Arizona plays at the Pac-12, it's a wonderful atmosphere, but it's a gigantic T-Mobile Arena. I spent time – what I saw Friday night was better than, like, watching Oregon and Colorado at the Pac-12. Was better than, like, a Utah State, Boise State game. I don't even know if that happened. Those two teams played. But some of the games that I watched at the Mountain West, it was awesome on Friday night.
It felt awesome just watching.
Did you see it?
On Friday night.
Yeah, it was what it's supposed to be. And after a year shut down to pandemic, it was great. If you were there, I'd love to hear from you. Aggie fan, how you feeling about your 12 seed? Want to hear from you? Your coach will be with us at 9. Greg Brown, Volcano Vista boys coach at 8:15. Sebastian Noel at 8:30. Gato Roberto spinning the wheels for us. I'm merely Jeff Symbieta across from JJ Buck. Thank you for choosing to be with us this morning on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes.
And JJ Bond.
Well, is this the year that some statements are made by the Aggies, by the Mountain West? Or are we sitting here by the weekend and everybody's gone? It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, come on in, 505-246-0610. Lobos obviously played a little part in some things, maybe getting Wyoming onto the bubble, keeping UNLV out. The Aggies are in. They're a 12 seed. I think it's a good seed. I think this is as good as it was going to get for them. We'll talk to their coach, Chris Jans, at 9 o'clock. They're going to Buffalo as a 12 seed. San Diego State is an 8 seed. That's respect. Colorado State is a 6 seed. That is mad respect. Boise State maybe got a little disrespected at 8. And Wyoming got in with no real great win, a loss to New Mexico, and not playing great down the stretch. I think your Mountain West got respect, everybody but Boise State. And I don't know what Boise State had to do to get some. But to JJ's point, Boise State's non-conference was not very good, and that's probably what kept them on the 8 line.
The entire resume matters. You definitely want to look at how you finish the season. That gives you a feel of who you're going to pick in the bracket, what you like. But that entire resume is on that sheet of paper in front of those people. So this one was interesting where they obviously gave the Mountain West credit because Wyoming got in, and they had a very bubbly resume. But did hold Boise State accountable for their non-conference. So it's a give and take because there was respect there, but your conference champion only getting an 8, that does hurt a little bit. And Brian Dutcher brought it up. That surprised him. He felt Boise State should have been seated higher. I think we all did.
But how many lines higher did you think they were going to get? I mean, were you surprised Colorado State's higher than them?
I was surprised that Colorado State was.
I think if you'd have flip-flopped Colorado State and Boise State, we'd have all said, yeah, they kind of got it all right. Right? If you'd
and it is something that Jerry's talked about like all year long, all conference season long, is he saw something there. The team sheets, the rankings, the metrics, whatever it was.
That Colorado State
just was in a better position.
Jerry being Jerry Palm.
Jerry Palm, CBS Sports. Yep. Looked fantastic all weekend, by the way, on our television.
Yes, he did.
So it's one where, they gave your conference credit, but then they also didn't give it credit for its champion. Got 4 teams in. Got to win a game. And if you're Boise State, the fans are chirping. They're like, oh, this or that.
Well, their fans always
go beat Memphis.
Yeah, go beat Memphis.
Like, this is what you got.
Look, it's an 8-9 game, and that's a team that's good, that played in the American Championship, lost to
And the
Houston
1 seeds, it's Gonzaga, because everyone takes their shots at Gonzaga. They're like, oh, I don't believe in Gonzaga, even though all they do is, win, and they're at the end.
Championship game last year?
Every single year.
Why do people love that? I don't. Every year I hear the same crap out of the talking heads. Well, I don't believe in them because of their conference. Didn't they run through it all the way to the championship game last year? Baylor beat them. Okay, they didn't finish, but didn't they run through everybody last year? Get to the championship game?
Not overseeded if you keep making deep runs in the
All right, here's the Boise State issue. Their non-conference, they don't have a good win. They didn't. They beat Santa Clara, who's nice. They beat Ole Miss, who's okay. They beat Temple, who's okay. They lost to UC Irvine, St. Bonaventure, Cal State Bakersfield, and St. Louis. They didn't have a bad loss in conference. So, and this is where some of the old school guys, and JJ, I think we used to hear all the time, well, their last 10 matter. They weight the last 10 more. How is a team playing down the stretch is weighted? I don't know that that's part of the conversation anymore. Do you?
I don't believe it is.
It used to be who's playing well down the stretch. That was part of it. I don't believe it is. Now, Boise State's playing really well down the stretch. They won 8 of their last 9. They won 10 of their last 12. Boise State played, and their losses were to Colorado State by 3 and by 3. And then they won the conference championship by 1. Boy, what a conference championship, by the way.
The Mountain West was amazing.
The Mountain West tournament was so good. Yeah, no, it was so good. On Thursday, you had 3 games that were all one-possession game, and the other game was a 5-point game. That was San Diego State-Fresno State, which felt like a one-possession game that went back and forth all night. Nevada had a chance. Blackshear has a beautiful look to knock Boise State out in the quarterfinals, and he missed on that. Colorado State had their shot at San Diego State. It was that was on Friday night. You had so many good games in that. Was there a bad one?
I don't think so. Because even you look at the Wednesday.
Yeah.
And
Utah State, maybe.
Yeah. Well, handling Air Force. Mm-hmm. But San Jose State goes down swinging, pushing UNLV into OT. Nevada, New Mexico was a tight, good contest. It was an unbelievable tournament. It was the most probably competitive from start to finish of any of these tournaments.
It was actually really, really, really good. I want to say thank you. But JJ and I were both there last week. I want to say thank you to the sponsors who made sure that we were there for you. Looking forward to doing it again next year. But thank you to Jersey Mike's, a sub above. Coleman Vision, perfect game. Airport parking at exit 221, easier, quicker, smarter. Car Crafter celebrating 40 years in Albuquerque. And the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce. Join, connect, and thrive. I agree with you on the league. I told you this Friday. So I was Gar Forman, the former general manager of the Bulls, who's now scouting with the Pelicans, and I was with some of his people on Thursday night. They agreed that the Mountain West Conference was the better conference in the Pac-12 this year. That now they didn't say that they had better prospects. The Pac-12 had better NBA prospects, and so they were spending probably more time over there. But they agreed, and the Pac-12 got 3 teams in, and the Mountain West got 4. Now, to your point, they got to do something. Who's the best chance to win? San Diego State versus Creighton, Colorado State versus Michigan, which is really interesting. Boise State versus Memphis, or Wyoming versus Indiana. I think San Diego State.
Boise State, San Diego State, Colorado State.
I don't think Wyoming gets through Indiana, do you?
I don't.
I don't know how that happens either.
Jackson Davis is on an absolute tear. It's going to be such a tough cover for Grammy and Cake because Jackson Davis plays outside and he's the forward for Indiana.
Yeah, I think we
That's
agree.
what happens, man. When you're on the bubble, you don't get any favors.
Now, you got 2 teams that are 8 seeds in San Diego State and in Boise State. That means if they do win their first game, they get 1 seeds. That means Boise State would have to play Gonzaga. That means San Diego State would have to play Kansas. Kansas is beatable to me.
The second round team,
yeah,
if they could get through, you know, I think it would be Wyoming.
Well,
but it's on Colorado State to get to that second weekend.
To get through Michigan, and then they'd have to. Boy, Tennessee's so good though in the second round. Tennessee should be a 2, and that would be the 3. So you think it's Colorado State? Where's I'm looking. Where who would Wyoming play if they get through?
Well, then you got St. Mary's.
Oh, they got to play St. Mary's. Okay.
And I don't think you can beat Indiana and St. Mary's back to back.
And then UCLA probably. Yeah, I think Wyoming's got a tough draw, but they're in. San Diego State, I think, can get through Creighton, but then they're going to run straight into Kansas. Yeah, it's kind of on Colorado State, isn't it?
And so the thing with Tennessee is, man, Tennessee's good, but you'd swap them out with Duke. That would be the switch. Yeah. Like, Tennessee should be on the 2 line. Duke should be on the 3 line.
So you want to play Tennessee or Duke?
You'd be like, oh, there you go. Yeah. Got to beat someone, man. It's the NCAA tournament. There's not an easy path. The only easy path potentially is if you're a 1 or 2 seed. Do you think Kansas is feeling great if they have to go into that second round game? No.
Play San Diego State?
In San Diego State. Or Creighton, who just lost by 3 to Villanova in the Big East Championship game.
Better chance to advance, New Mexico State or one of the Mountain West teams? New Mexico State gets UConn, and then most likely Eric Musselman's Arkansas team, who I think is really, really good.
I like that draw for the Aggies.
I think they can get through the first. I think running into Arkansas is going to be tough. They're athletic. They're relentless. You got to get really, really, really good point guard play.
You have Note, leading scorer. Williams is really good inside, and then Musselman just throws a bunch of bodies at you.
Over and over and over again. All right, we're going to talk high school stuff when we get back. Greg Brown, the head coach of the Volcano Vista Boys State Championship team, made some history, and a whole lot of it over the weekend when they beat Las Cruces in overtime. We're going to talk to Greg, and just what an atmosphere, what a wonderful weekend. Sebastian Noel is going to be with us at 8:30 from ProView Networks, and then 9 o'clock, Chris Jans, New Mexico State's men's basketball coach. They get set for the NCAA tournament. I want to tell you about Coleman Vision. I had my LASIK done there back in 2003, and it's still one of the best things I ever did. It still is life-changing to me. I think back to putting in contacts at 4 in the morning when I was anchoring the morning news, and glasses and all that stuff. Went in because Dr. Coleman's the best. Went in about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, opened my eyes a few hours later, noticed the difference immediately, and anchored the news without lenses at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I've been living that way ever since. I had a high degree of astigmatism, and that's why I went to see him, and that's what Dr. Coleman specializes in. But he specializes in this technology because it's cutting edge, and he plays a significant role in developing and testing this technology. It's used around the world as well as right here in New Mexico, and that's why patients come from everywhere to have their LASIK done at Coleman Vision. They know of Dr. Coleman's reputation, that he's been in private practice specializing in LASIK his entire career, and that he is the best. If you're thinking about LASIK, if you think you're a candidate, if you're done with lenses, contacts, glasses, and want to live lens-free, call Coleman Vision, make an appointment. Go online, visit them at colemanvision.com, or make an appointment at 505-821-8880. That's 505-821-8880. Seeing is believing, and I believe.
KG40BL. High school sports are back.
You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge.
Well, it is one of the greatest shows, period. It's the state high school basketball tournament in New Mexico. And it was on full display in splendor this weekend, and it culminated with the big school championship game. 2 undefeateds, Las Cruces and Volcano Vista, going overtime in front of over 11,000 people. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. You know that I believe in magic in sports. You know I believe magical things happen. And we went into this game, and Volcano Vista wins in overtime, beating Las Cruces 66-55. Volcano becomes the first boys team from Albuquerque Public Schools to post an unbeaten season, period. Volcano Vista becomes the first school to have its boys and girls go undefeated and hoist the blue trophy, period. And an emotional year for the Brown family. It's so good to see Greg Brown smiling with a blue trophy in his hand. The head boys basketball coach of Volcano Vista joins us this morning on the opening drive. Congratulations, champ. How you living?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Just so happy for you, man. I know how emotional this year has been for you, for your family. Your brother texted me yesterday, and he says Papa was definitely in the house. I know Papa didn't make a bucket yesterday, but maybe he did. Wow, what a week!
It was so special, and as it sets in, I'm just hoping it sets in slowly, and it will. I mean, I want to enjoy every little second of it, and I have been, and definitely don't want to make it about just us and my dad. I mean, it was 7 seniors that were super special, led by cool, calm Jaquan Hill hitting those free throws with 4 seconds left. Yep. But so much went into it. Caden Valdez taking on the challenge of guarding Deuce, and Jaden Malone having, being steady and then stepping up huge in the overtime, and our student section. We did this without Oscar McCoy, who's the heart of our team, because he fouled out with 2 minutes left, and at that point we were nervous, and that's when I was having conversations with my dad, and I was like, hey, what are you doing here? What's going on, and why are you making this difficult? But our student section stayed alive, and our cheerleaders are still cheering, and our guys are still believing, and I was still yelling at the refs. So we didn't give up until the end, and then the end was an overtime when we ended up playing our best, and it was a team effort and special time, just for our community and our school and our family, and it's been awesome.
For those who don't know, Greg Brown and his brother Danny have been longtime coaches here, and their father Mike passed away earlier this year, one of the winningest coaches. He won 11 state championships and legend at Albuquerque Academy, so it's been emotional. But for you, Greg, you and your family know the history of high school basketball in this state as well as anybody. The historical context can't be lost. The fact that you're one of only 3 teams, I think, ever at the top classification to go undefeated, to have those 2 undefeateds go at each other, to be the only APS team to ever go undefeated through the season, and then the boys and the girls, all of those things, the historical piece can't be lost on you.
Yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things where when you're in the middle of it, you don't get consumed or even think about it much. We didn't, and Kennedy, my daughter's team, with Coach V, they didn't think about it either. I know they did. I mean, it's in the back of your head a little bit, I guess, but really the undefeated, it was special because, like, after Metro, we both won Metro, we got to take pictures together, both teams, and the girls and the boys, and our game was right before theirs, and then district regular season championship, we got to take pictures together, the girls and the boys, and then we had district player of the years on both with Jaquan and Jalen, and then the district tournament championship game, we got to take pictures. We played right before the girls at our gym, and hung out with them after their game, and then this last one we went and watched the girls play Farmington and Hobbs in the state championship game, and they won, and we ended up winning the next night, and sure enough, on the pit floor, we have the girls' team and the boys' team taking pictures and enjoying it and celebrating together, and it's beyond special. My daughter being a part of Coach B's program, and then, my son's on our team, and so there's just so many cool things that have happened, and we're very, very blessed.
Greg Brown is the boys' basketball coach, state championship, Volcano Vista, with us on the opening round.
Greg, how was your team able to stay composed and focused at the end? We always talk about how hard it is for college athletes, professional athletes, let alone high school athletes, especially when the whistle, you got some tough whistles in that second half. Las Cruces goes on that run. It takes the lead, finally with like a minute 16 left. How were your kids able to stay focused in that moment?
So that's their nature. If you really get to know Jaquan Hill or Jada Malone, Caden Valdez, they are very even-keel type people, and so that served to our advantage, I believe, in a game like that. We weren't too high, and Tyler Martinez is an emotional, he's our emotional leader, so he'll take care of some of the energy. So same with Kieran Cordova, but the fact that our guys have an even-keel personality definitely helped us in those moments. So when Jaquan goes up and there's 4 seconds left and he's staring into his student section behind the basket as he's got to make 2 free throws to determine our season, he just took a deep breath and went up and was himself, and he's a gym rat. He's been in that moment, in his head already. And he went up and hit 2 clean ones, and it wasn't a surprise to us. We expected him to. But it was after he didn't have, his best game in terms of a lot of the things that he did. But credit to him and all of our guys for just hanging in there.
And defensively, it's what your team did this season, but I was just in awe sitting there, watching what you guys did to Las Cruces. I don't really know if they were able to run any clean half-court sets at all in that game. Did you feel that that's where you might have had an advantage in that matchup?
It's where we had to really focus most of our energy because sometimes when you try hard on offense, it's like counterproductive. It's sometimes the harder you try, the harder it can be on offense. Sometimes your shots aren't going to go. And credit to Cruces, that was by far, quite a bit the best defensive team that we played. So what they did is they didn't leave our shooters, and they just made it like a 2-on-2 game with a pick-and-roll game in the middle of the floor, and they had their big 7-footer, just in the middle of the lane. So it made it really difficult for us to score. But it also motivated us to make it really difficult for them to score. And we had that defensive, a really good defensive team this year, but it was kind of one of those things where we would turn it on and off. We had to turn it on against Cruces and leave it on because we knew that was going to be our best chance of winning. And we also respect them a whole bunch with just, how they are and Deuce and, they're undefeated for a reason and they're defending, they've won state and they kicked our butt a couple of years ago. And so we knew it was going to take a full effort.
You talk about Deuce and probably the highest profile player in that game was him. And I look at it and I say, wow, I guess he got his at 27. But you mentioned Caden Valdez and the job he did on him. And look, Deuce is aggressive, and I know you arrive in the referees. Sometimes maybe he's overly aggressive, and but we're all going to get away with what we can get away with. What'd you do specifically? And I say what'd you do with him? Again, he ate. He got 27.
Yeah, he did.
But the job Caden did on him.
So, like, Caden, this year's team, it was like, it's not like, here's what we need to do. It's like, what do you guys think we should do? So, like, having seniors is, especially seniors we had this year, like, the game plan had to go through them. Like, they had to help come up with game plan. Like, I give them ideas. I knew after watching film, what would be best for us. But if they don't want to do something, because they got to go play and they got to go feel it, if they don't want to do something, this team, especially the seniors, are going to tell me, and so plan A was to be ourselves. We got to go be who we are, do what we do. We've been very successful. So it was just create tempo and do what we do all year, which is always going to be our plan A. Plan B was how can we deal with Deuce because he can win this game by himself. And then so what are we going to do? And so they all agreed, hey, I want a piece of him. Oscar wanted some of him. Caden wanted him.
Nice.
And they just said, hey, let's limit his touches as much as we can, and we have to have some doubles ready to send to him at different areas of the floor. So and we talked about that, but, it was plan B, and we had to get to plan B pretty quickly just because Deuce, we didn't want him to get going. But it was, Caden stepped up huge, and he wanted that assignment.
Greg, obviously it's about the trophy, the medals. You guys are state champions. But what was it like to do it in that atmosphere? That might have been the loudest I've heard that building this year. And I'm talking about even going to Lobo games with the student section. It was just unbelievable. But to be able to win in an environment like that, how is that going to add to the memory?
I mean, it's this. I don't know. It's hard to talk about because as a player, I've been in it, and as a coach, I've been able to coach in that environment. So, but I never take it for granted. I know how special it is, and it's just so rewarding to have your school there and to have your kids experience that. And I know it was tough for Cruces, and to come out on the losing end of a situation, but when you step back, and before the game, I remember during the national anthem, I turned to my coaches and I said, hey, you guys look around and embrace it because, you know, win or lose, this is just special, you know, and they looked at me like, okay, you know, because at that moment you try to stay tunnel vision, but I'm like, nah, we got to.
You got to taste it.
You got to, because it's so different. High school basketball in New Mexico is special.
Look, Greg,
playing in the pit is unique. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you don't embrace those, I remember the first time my daughter ran in the state cross country meet, and she's like, Dad, they've got a big blow up thing at the finish line, and there's signs, and J.P. Murrieta's out here taking pictures like it was the biggest deal. And I said, babe, do yourself a favor before you get started. Just take a breath and look around and embrace it and taste it, and don't get lost in it. Stay focused, but don't get lost because it's special.
Right.
Hey, congratulations. I'm so happy for you, for your family, for that community. It's special. It's undefeated. It's a blue trophy. It's history. And I know it's been a hell of a tough year for your family, but hopefully you guys got to have some smiles and some tears and embrace and like Danny told me yesterday, you know, Papa was in the house. I know you felt it, and just stoked and appreciate you spending some time with us.
And I appreciate you guys having me and people that are listening. I appreciate you guys, and you know, give everybody words of encouragement and happiness today. I want to, you know, we feel great at Volcano, but hopefully everybody else has a good day too. And thank you guys for everything. And you know, I feel very blessed. So thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Thanks, Greg.
Appreciate you guys.
Greg Brown, he's a state champion, and what a great story. Talk to Sebastian Noel when we come back. Recap the whole state tournament. Sebastian from the Voice of the People from ProView Networks on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We're all moving a little faster now.
Trusted technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Industries is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever, no one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs. Proud.
The Sports Animal.
Well, not just Volcano Vista, although the highlights were Volcano Vista boys and girls going undefeated, but what a great week. Highland winning for the first time in 50 years. Fort Sumner's girls winning. I mean, it was wonderful all the way up and down. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck, and ProView Networks had all the games on the NFHS network. Adrian was working. I was out there, got to see the voice of the people. Sebastian Noel. They have
It was great to see the crew out there on Saturday.
Got to see everybody, Alden and Josh and Jason and Adrian, and I mean everybody, and led by the voice of the people. Sebastian Noel joins us on the opening drive. How you living?
Good morning, guys.
Get a nap at some point on Sunday?
Yeah, you know, it's weird. You go home that Saturday, and I don't know, the way this is just me. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm weird like this, but I'm on such a high. I have trouble sleeping that night of the tournament.
And then you lose an hour's sleep. Yeah.
And then here we are. It's baseball season.
Highlight. And there doesn't have to be one. For you, I know you called that great game with Steve Davis on ProView Networks and the FHS Network on Saturday night, the Volcano Vista overtime victory over Las Cruces. Is that the highlight of the week? I know your alma mater, Del Norte, played against Highland in the 4A final. Or is there something else? What jumps out to you from the week?
JJ assured me that wouldn't come up, my alma mater losing.
No, he forgot to give me that memo.
No, I mean, I think 2 things. The crowd, phenomenal.
Yes.
That has to be up there. And then getting to interview Greg after the game, you know, after everything him and his family have been through. Yeah. And, getting to hug his mom after the game. I know she's been through so much. I think those things probably stand out.
Jose Murillo, 40-20 in the 4A game and for Highland. We've talked. You know, we just had Greg on. We talked about the Volcano Vista victory. I've been asked this question. I don't know that I'm qualified to answer. He was so good throughout the tournament and throughout the year. Is he a Division I player?
Well, you know, the thing. I think he can blossom into that.
And that's by the way. I'm sorry to interrupt. That just for context for people who don't know, that's Highland's best player. And I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
I think I know right now Eastern and Highlands are on the radar. I know that. I think he can develop into that, no doubt. I think he was especially in that game, if you watch that game, he was in a unique position where all he had to do was catch it 2 feet in front of the rim and just kind of lay it up. But if you watch his development from freshman year to senior year and you think that trajectory continues, then there's no reason why he wouldn't be. Now, I don't know if he would play the 5 in college, right? 6'9". He might have to play the 4, but I think he definitely could develop into that.
Sebastian, when we look at just some of the other titles and wins, I do want to start with the girls. I know Volcano Vista, is pretty much a foregone conclusion, but now to look back on the season, Lisa Villarreal winning another championship, it's one where we figured they were going to win, but how do you give them the credit that they deserve for how great they were this season?
Well, I think the game, it's funny, the game as it unfolded, Volcano Vista wasn't shooting it great, and it wasn't one of their vintage performances. And I was thinking to myself, and I told Steve during the break, I said, it's almost fitting that they win this game going away when they're not even playing as great as we've seen them play all year, because that's how much better they were than everyone. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's just the separation there was phenomenal.
And you look at, too, going on the girls' 4A, Kirtland Central beats Bernalillo. I know there's a lot of hype. Juliana Ergon, scoring Gatorade Player of the Year. But you told us, this Kirtland Central team, they're strong, they're good, and 4A title for them.
And defensively, they really did a number on Bernalillo. I think, they really held Juliana in check. And then they got hot from 3, and that just kind of sealed it. I mean, when those start going in, the crowd gets into it. They can all taste their 20th state title in school history. Yeah, that snowball started running down the hill quick.
Sebastian Noel, the voice of the people, voice of ProView Networks, is with us in the opening drive. So much has been made of the big schools. A little history at 2A. And Manal School's been around for like 100 years. And they win their first state championship in boys basketball. They go 23-4 with a victory over Pecos. And I wish I would have seen that game, because it sounds like they've got a couple of phenomenal players and put together a run that was as impressive as anything outside of undefeated, right, at Volcano Vista. But that's another historical run that was made by Manal.
Yeah, the history of Manal is so cool, Jeff. I mean, they've been around so long. You go back to some of their infancy, like they used to play the Lobos. That's how long they've been around, right? Because there weren't any of the high schools around, so they used to play UNM in every sport. But yeah, no, they have 3 players that are just incredibly long, incredibly athletic. I mean, they're raw, but at that level, when you're that long and you're that athletic, and man, I mean, Pecos gave them everything they can handle. They chipped away, but it just wasn't going to be their day.
How good, like are the big guys, how good can they be? You say they're wrong. We watch so much like Morillo, like Deuce Benjamin. I mean, there were so many good individual players. How good can some of these guys be, in your opinion, as you sit down and watch it, try to keep it all in perspective?
Well, I mean, okay, let me do the comparison, and I hate to do these kind of comparisons, but if Isaiah Carr is ready, right, like I think he could play for Grand Canyon tomorrow, and then Jose Murillo is, probably have to start a different route if he were to get to Division I. Then these guys, the elevator's still on the ground floor for these guys. I mean, they're so raw, but the athleticism, the length, I mean, any coach would salivate to get them in a gym and see what they can become. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I think, JJ and I, we talk about potential, right? Tony Snell got drafted in the NBA on potential. And is it there, and who's watching? I think that's it. All right, just a few more minutes. The voice of the people, Sebastian Noel, is with us.
Well, Sebastian, 3A boys title, Robertson tops St. Mike's. First title for Robinson. What were your thoughts on that contest?
Happy for James Branch. He's coached, seems like, everywhere up there up north. That was a good basketball team, and St. Mike's went through a lot during the year, too. Their coach was removed, and an interim coach took over, and they just took off. And, 3A was so wide open, there was not a team that was going to run away with 3A. So, you had an instance where a St. Mike's team that was hovering around 500 could have walked away with the state title. But it was nice to see Robertson capture another one. They had a really good season under Coach Branch.
Congratulations to you and the crew. Great basketball season. I just was so impressed with the setup out there and the professionalism of your broadcasts. And I know we're going to continue having you on every week as we go through baseball and track season. But great season for you guys. Football, basketball, I know is the brunt of so many people's high school viewing. And great job by you and the rest of that crew out there, because I think the product, that not only the quantity but the quality of what you guys put on is really, really impressive, and I know you're proud of it, and you should be.
Yeah, I mean, I just get to work with the best team. You know, we have camera guys out there that put in 8-hour days at the pit. Sometimes they put in 12-hour days. You know, they're there all day, and the art directors, which you've all gotten to know, I mean, they do all the work, right? And we just get to sound and look pretty, and it's a phenomenal team over there, and I'm really, really happy that I get to work with them. I'm really happy that we got to showcase their talents in such a great game between two undefeated teams. And I mean, the week always makes me very happy and proud to work with those guys.
And you looked pretty, and that's really what matters. We'll catch up with you very soon. Appreciate it as always. Great work, and congratulations.
All right, guys, be good. Baseball season next week.
Baseball season starts, and we'll catch up with you on that. See you soon. Sebastian Noel, the voice of the people. It was the Grand Poobah, but I was told over the weekend he's now the voice of the people.
The voice of the people.
All right, 505-246-0610. Coming at 9 o'clock, Chris Jan's going to be with us, New Mexico State's head basketball coach. Aggies are on their way to Buffalo to take on UConn in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Going to recap the WAC tournament and look ahead to UConn next. Well, not next, at 9 o'clock. We got you next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
green. And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
And you got Sebastian Munoz and Doug Gimbach at -8 with Paul Casey and Sam Burns also there, and then all the big names chasing, and you're going to get the final round today. So if you want to put something on in the office and you're tired of listening to people telling you who's overseeded and all the Mountain West teams are overseeded, like JJ blew up the tweeter, then you can watch some golf today as well. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. So just wrapping up the high school stuff real quick. You were out there in the evening. I was out there during the day. Got reports all week. Coming off a couple of years of pandemic state tournaments, it kind of reemphasizes how big of a deal that is and how big high school basketball is in the state, huh?
Yes. It's just so much fun to see the state come together in one place in that building, how much it resonates, how special it is to pack that building for those championship games Friday and Saturday, and just seeing the different dynamic of players and people and cities. It's such a great event.
It is as good as there is in the country when it comes to high school tournaments, and it's been talked about and it's been validated. Indiana's really good. I covered tournaments in Washington State, and they were great. This is beyond it, and it was great. All right, hey, we're going to talk about Chris Jans coming up in a little bit about New Mexico State's seed and what they've got and moving forward. You going back to that tweet that you put out. So you saw it was a ESPN metric, or it was a BPI metric that had the 3 Mountain West teams: San Diego State, Colorado. You can't overseed Wyoming; they're the last seed in the tournament. But all overseeded, all 3 teams.
Yeah. So it was on SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt last night, and they're just having a conversation in the background. And one of the video boards, it put up certain things, and it said most overseeded teams per ESPN's BPI. So it's their personal metric.
Yeah.
And it had Colorado State, San Diego State, Boise State all overseeded.
Did it say why, or it's just their metric?
Said BPI actual seed for Colorado State was 10.2.
Wow.
Versus 6. SDSU was 10.3 versus 8. And Boise State was 10.1.
So all 10 8. Seeds. Boise State gets no credit, and all they do is win. I was talking to a Grammar the other day in Vegas, and we were talking about who do you like in the final. And I liked San Diego State, and look, they lost the game, but I thought they were going to win, and they had 3 shots to win at the end, and I'd have been right. One of those falls. He says, I kind of like San Diego State, but I've been picking against Boise for the last month and a half, and all they do is win. They win. I mean, they keep winning.
All they do is win, no matter what.
And it's hard, I look at them against Memphis, and I think, boy, it's a tough matchup. Well, they're all tough matchups. And my gut is to pick against Boise State again, and all they do is win. And they're really good defensively. And I'm looking at a UConn team who's won 6 out of their last. Well, that's against the San Diego State. But I'm looking against the athletes at Memphis, and I'm thinking, I mean, this is interesting. But all they do is win, and they get no credit.
Boise State's the matchup I like the most right now of the Mountain West team.
Okay, you like it better than the Creighton? Yeah, and look, Creighton was really good too.
But it was funny because I took that photo, just a screenshot, and jokingly, posted, ESPN hates the Mountain West, and boy, do people agree with that statement, even though I was joking.
ESPN, and you know what else I learned at this? Not that I didn't know this. Every team in the Mountain West, every fan base thinks they're getting screwed by the refs. Every fan base, and I had a brief conversation with Craig Thompson, the commissioner, and we talked about the year, what it's been. He's like, yeah, no, it's been good. Everybody complains about the calls. That was one of the first things he said, so I guess he's been getting beat up by every fan base. Now, look, there were some big calls in these games. In every game. The Utah State game, I thought they got a tough call against them. I thought New Mexico got a horrible call against them. Every game you look at it. Can I tell you this? In watching games yesterday and watching games over the weekend, I don't know if there's an emphasis, but there have been more charge calls, more of those block charges, especially at the rim, that have gone against the offensive player than I've ever seen in my life. And I would almost tell you, I think they're not 50-50 anymore. They're almost like 65-35 being called offensive fouls. And they're not all good calls.
That is correct.
It's a hard call, and I give you that. But when did it sway to what's going towards the defensive player on that?
It must have been something that was like an off-season talking point of trying to address it, but then it feels like it's overwhelming one way.
It is. And look, it's a hard call. And I know now that they're getting a lot of calls. It's a defensive tactic even more. But it was, especially watching basketball this week, was stunned how many calls go against the offensive player. And so look, some of them are right. There are guys that are just going to the hole and expecting to get fouled. But you noticed that as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, New Mexico State's going to play a good UConn team, a 5th seed. Finished 6-1 its last 7 games in the regular season. Who are they? What are they about? Aggies are the WAC champs. Talk to the head coach of New Mexico State, Chris Jans, when we get back. They're going to Buffalo to take on UConn. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Adrian's producing on television. Gato Roberto is in today on the radio side. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Tom Brady announced
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dreamstyle.
With 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and J.J. Bach.
Well, coming off a wonderful run, 2 games, 2 victories over Grand Canyon and then Abilene Christian. New Mexico State's back in the NCAA tournament, 9th time in the last 12 years. Aggies are a 12 seed as WAC champions. Headed to Buffalo, they will play UConn, the University of Connecticut, out of the Big East. And a 12 seed is, I think, shows a lot of respect for what they've done. Opening drive, Jeff Sibieta, J.J. Buck. Chris Jans is the head coach of the WAC champion New Mexico State Aggies, and he joins us this morning on the opening drive. First off, congratulations on cutting down some nets. Wonderful, wonderful atmosphere in Vegas over the weekend. How you living?
What's up, guys? Yeah, it was a wonderful weekend. Great crowd. Since I've been here, I don't have an official count, but it sure seemed like Aggie Nation was in full force and probably the largest following we've had up there. And obviously, didn't have fans really last year, didn't even have a tournament the year before, so I'm sure people were bursting at the seams to get up there and support this program that they love. So it just felt really, really good. We played pretty well, had stretches where we played great, and just to see the smiles and the emotion on our kids' faces and just the elation of knowing they're going to, the best show on earth. I mean, there's nothing like it. March Madness, NCAA tournament. It's just great memories for your lifetime, and they really enjoyed the post game for sure.
Chris, I want to look ahead here in a moment. I thought Friday night, though, the semifinal game against Grand Canyon, I've been going to that tournament for, a lot of years in that building. And I went to the Pac-12. I was in the Mountain West. I was in a lot of buildings. The atmosphere Friday night, Grand Canyon brought a great crowd. I thought your crowd was as good as I've seen. That was the best atmosphere I've seen at a WAC tournament in that building, I think, since I've been going.
It was pretty special. Like you said, both teams got great followings and a lot on the line. Yeah, you could feel it, and as you well know, when I know the environment's going to be like that, it gives me a good feeling because our kids, for whatever reason, have always excelled in that environment. They love playing in, even if it's a hostile environment on the road. We don't have a lot of fans, but they just, they immerse themselves in the emotion. It's motivating for them. They accept the challenge. And so I knew, it was going to be that type of crowd with who we were playing and what I said earlier about the absence of the tournament, et cetera. So it was good. It was really, really good. It was special. And then obviously on Saturday, GCU or ACU didn't have quite the following that GCU did, but our fans showed out and felt like a darn home game.
I asked you guys this after the game, and you just alluded to it. Obviously, Grand Canyon has your attention, and then you were playing for something. And I asked you on Saturday night, did you know what team you were going to get? And look, the Chicago State thing was tough, and then following up with Utah Valley. And so did you know going into this what you were going to get? Did you just figure this is kind of a weird, quirky team, and they need whatever it is to get themselves playing? Because that was a different team I watched on Friday and Saturday than obviously I saw over the last 2 weeks.
Well, and it's a long college basketball season. I mean, you'll hear other coaches make mention of this. I kind of cringe. I don't like to say it because that's not what the goal is. But you'll hear coaches say, hey, over the course of 30, 35 games, you're going to have 2 or 3 games where you don't play well, and it's a struggle. Yeah. And I think most coaches would say that. I've never really had that come out of my mouth because I don't want to think that way. I don't want to prepare that way. I don't want to accept that. I don't want to have an out for our kids. But in reality, most seasons, you are going to have, a couple games where things just don't go right, and it's just a tough situation because of different factors. And that's not an excuse because we're still very disappointed by that game and others, to be honest with you. I thought we left some food on the table in the regular season, and we could have had a gaudy record. But at the end of the day, we won the 1 seed. We won a share of the championship, and we put ourselves in position to win a conference tournament and qualify for the NCAA tournament, which obviously we did. So, who knows? I'm not smart enough to figure out if it really helped us over the weekend, but I'm just glad with the results.
New Mexico State coach Chris Jans is with us on the opening drive.
Oh, Chris, you did a great job of keeping that water down in that video when the seed was announced. And what's it like knowing that you're in the tournament, but you are kind of sitting there with that anticipation, and you get to see your team, and really for your players and the fans, announced on national TV in the NCAA tournament? What is that moment like?
Well, it was a little odd this year. The reaction was a combination, as I think about it, of everything. One, we had got some food for the players. We got home and let them go home for a couple hours. And, of course, we had a couple guys that were, trying to rush to get them up there, and we want to come up as a team. And so they were announcing it, and I'm like, making a call down there, like, hey, we gotta get going. We gotta get the fellas up here, et cetera. It's starting, and I just never dreamt that we'd be the third matchup, and so it kind of caught me by surprise, and I was the only one in there really in terms of players and coaches, and it was just a different feeling than most years, and I'm a little disappointed that they didn't get to feel that feeling of when your name pops up on the screen, and you get that giddiness of who you're playing where, and it's just a wonderful feeling, and so that's disappointing, and I think the surprise was that, and then certainly, like I said, for the media that were there, I had in my mind that I thought we'd be at 13 just because of our numbers. I mean, I thought our net was a little lower than it deserved to be. Obviously, it's a mathematical equation, and I'm not saying that anything was wrong, but in terms of our resume, like quad 1, quad 2, those kind of things, compared to a lot of other programs that are above us in that. But I think that has to do with more how they put in the efficiency and margin of victory or loss. I mean, we won a lot of close games, and then we lost a couple games by a large margin. I think that really hurt our numbers because obviously that's factored in with the new net, and so it was a pleasant surprise. I mean, we've been at 12 every time we've went since I've been here, and certainly you want to get the best seed you can for a favorable matchup. But at the end of the day, you're going to play a good team when you're at 12 or 13, and you just got to prepare and get ready to tip the ball.
Chris Jans, Mexico State men's basketball head coach, joining us on the opening drive. Chris, since you've been a collegiate coach, how has the studying of all this stuff when it comes to metrics, evolved, and just where it's gone to for the NCAA? Do you think it's in a good spot with the metrics and what they try to put together right now?
Oh gosh, I mean, right now, I certainly wish it was the old school way because if you look at our RPI, which is not in the room anymore, and what they did for decades, it's really, really good, like at-large quality, which, obviously it's antiquated now, so it doesn't really matter. But a lot more advanced metrics, predictive measuring tools are used. A margin of victory, like I discussed, is used. Your offensive, defensive efficiency, be it KenPom or all the other tools that are out there that are actually in the room. They have a lot of different measurements that they use. So there's a lot to it. You have to know that, I think, as a coach in this day and age to understand, especially if you're one of those teams that's fighting for an at-large, because, how you beat someone by how much could have something to do with it. And as coaches, we've talked about that, and it's just kind of odd if you really think about it. The most important goal is to win the game, and never would have dreamt, your margin of victory would have that much to do with some of these metrics, but it is what it is.
All right, you got UConn. You're going to play them Thursday. You're going back there. It's almost a home game for them. Going from Connecticut to Buffalo, you go across the country. 12-5. It's an interesting team. They're long. They're athletic. Cole and Martin can shoot it. Sonogo's a terrific, versatile big. They're athletic. I know you've looked at a bunch of tape probably in the last 12 hours. What'd you learn about UConn? How do you like the matchup?
Well, it sounds like you've been watching tape too.
A little bit, yeah. It's a little bit, yeah.
That's a good synopsis. They are exactly what you said. They got guards out front that can really go. They got plenty of size. All five guys rebound the ball. And what's impressed me the most is they guard the ball. They never take a possession off when they're guarding the ball. Everyone on the court is down in a stance, and they got tension in their body, and they got anticipation, and they got quick feet, and they're very prideful on the ball. That was what stuck out with me the most, is just how well schooled they are in defending the basketball. And then, Coach Hurley's a well-known guy, comes from a basketball family. His dad, is a famous coach. His brother's at Arizona State, and they're just basketball, and they love it, and their teams play really, really hard, and they're ultra-competitive, and they play in the Big East, so they're going against the best of the best every single night. And we're certainly going to have our hands full. I mean, they don't have a lot of weaknesses, and then they rebound the heck out of the ball. I mean, that's what they're known for right now is their rebounding numbers are just off the chart. And we're a good rebounding team, not our best. And then obviously Friday night against Grand Canyon, that popped up as
late
a line item that late that gave us some issues. So it'll be a handful. It'll be a challenge, but it's a 40-minute game. We're not playing them. That's out of 7. We're not practicing for 4 hours. We're going to play them in a 40-minute game, and I don't think we have to be perfect, but we got to play one of our better games. But I think everyone feels that way heading into the NCAA tournament. Your guys are going to compete at a high level. They're going to be focused. And certainly the logistics, all that stuff is not an advantage for us. I would have rather played Friday. Just with one more day, we got some guys dinged up. Who knows how they're going to feel? A 5-hour plane ride is not ideal. A 6-hour car ride from their campus to where we play. So none of that, came in our favor. But, come 4:50 Eastern time on Thursday, I don't think that's going to be in the back of our heads. We're going to tip that ball, and we're going to get after it for 40 minutes and try to win the game.
Lastly, Chris, I think the 12 seed in this matchup shows respect for your program and your league. I don't know how much, what you've done in the past, because you look at the resume, and you probably have more impressive resumes in other seasons. But I think your league got respect. I think it was 13th or 14th out of 32 in Ken Palm this year. And it prepared you. And while people who just look at names may not give it the respect, obviously the basketball people gave your league the respect that it earned this year.
Yeah, it definitely had something to do with it. My first year here, our Ken Palm as a league was right here or a couple of spots above it. I think we were 15 or 16 maybe. And then this year, it's been the best since I've been here. So you're in the top half now of all the conferences in the country, not just mid-major conferences, but of all 31. That's top half numbers, and that should earn some respect. You play 18-game league schedule, and that's a lot of games. It's more of a marathon than I've ever experienced as a head coach, and I think it's good for the WAC. We talked about it a lot heading into the fall, that more eyeballs were on us this year because of the additions, and I think it's going to even be better next year with the new ones coming in and Chicago State leaving. And I think there'll be a real path in the future for teams from the WAC to get it at large. And I think it could have happened this year. But things got to fall in place. You have to have some separation, in my opinion. You got to get two or three at the most teams kind of separate a little bit and create some quad one opportunities in league play, which we've never had since I've been here. At least we haven't been able to play teams like that. So that definitely has something to do with it. And again, what I said earlier, if you look at our quad one, quad two, resume, we have a good record. Certainly, we had a couple slip-ups in quad three, quad four, but I just think that some of our quality wins helped us as well.
Yeah. Hey, good luck. Always appreciate you spending time with us. Good seeing you briefly on Friday in Vegas. Safe travels back east, and good luck against UConn, and have a little run in the NCAA tournament and have fun.
Best time of the year, guys. Appreciate you having me on. Enjoy your madness.
Be well. Talk to you soon. Chris Jans,
All right.
head coach and champion again, wearing a net around his neck. I want to respond. There's a bunch of stuff in there when we come back on the opening drive. On 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
It's time. Time to finally beat Nancy in accounting.
Well, fair.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Personnel look like 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Well, it was good to be there. Conference tournament. Say thank you again to wonderful partners who made sure that JJ and I were there for you last week. Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce. Join, connect, thrive. CarCrafter celebrating 40 years in Albuquerque. Airport parking at exit 221. Easier, quicker, smarter. Coleman Vision. Perfect vision. Perfect game. And Jersey Mike's a sub above. Jazz is interesting about his team, right? I think he expected a lower seed, but tries to justify a higher seed, and he's right both ways. Does that make sense?
It does.
You know, they could have been higher. They could have been lower. Old metrics and current metrics and whatever it is. Bottom line is, I don't hate the matchup. Like he's got an athletic, long team who defends, can shoot. They've got a really, really versatile big. But you're playing the NCAA tournament, man. There's not a bad team left. There's not a 157 or 222 RPI or Ken Palm or net ranked team. Like everybody you're going to play is going to be really good. That's what this tournament's all about.
And, you know, for New Mexico State, they have a formula. And Chris Jan's kind of listening to how he was describing what he saw from his team. It feels like he's closer to getting what he wants out of him right now, what they did over the last 3 games. because they did rise to the occasion. In the games that mattered down the stretch, whether it was a Grand Canyon, Seattle road trip, what we saw over the last 3 games, this team has stepped up. And so it feels like there's a quiet confidence with Christian and his group going in. Because, yeah, you're athletically, UConn checks the box at every position. That's what a 5-seed NCAA tournament should do. And if they're able to lock in defensively, they have a guy in Teddy Allen with his size that he can give UConn some fits. Because he's a dude that's not going to be overwhelmed by their pressure. He's going to be able to get some of his shots up. If they're locked in, rebounding, defensively, that'll give him a chance to hit some shots.
So Teddy Allen didn't have his greatest game in the championship game. Clayton Henry played well. They got points from other places. I think New Mexico State, size-wise, and you hear people say it all the time for a mid-major, with McCants and McNair and Alok, they can throw some bigs at you now. They can throw some size. Jabari's got to play well. We're working on getting Jabari Rice with us tomorrow. I thought he was terrific on Friday. Teddy Allen, the player of the year in that league, can play. And then what do they get out of guys like McKinney and Clayton Henry and other places? And New Mexico State's got a chance to make a run. They've been so close, JJ, so many times coming out of this 12-hole, right? I think of the year Auburn went to the Final Four in New Mexico State, make a couple free throws down the stretch, and they win that game in the first round. I think of the Michigan State game. The year Michigan State went deep, and they got called for, remember the lane violation on a Michigan State free throw, and it would have been a 2-point game instead of a 3-point game, and so they've been really, really close, and we'll see. But if you want to get in, you can. We get you some emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. You're all over the place on different things that happened over the weekend. Dan says, Sunday afternoon, I was hoping to hear this. Is Jeffrey breaking into regular programming with Juan Jose and Ana Maria? We'll get back to regular programming in a little while, but we need to discuss the biggest sports and potentially news story of 2022, the unretirement of Thomas Patrick Brady. Already on hold is caller Crusher. No, you didn't. You really didn't want to hear that. Everybody else broke in. You didn't need us. Carl's, we haven't talked about Lobo football. They played their spring game on Saturday. And it was going on amongst the Weekend United Open, and the state tournament was right there in the middle of it. Carl says, why did Gonzalez decide to breeze him on that day, Jeff? I wanted to go bad, but with all the hoops, I totally forgot, and then I remembered last minute, and I decided not to go. I'm still confused about the parking and ticket situation, and with the state tournament going on, I didn't want to get caught up in the congestion. I think a lot of people didn't want to pay to park, and it was an interesting decision to play the spring game right kind of caught there in the middle of all that, wasn't it?
I think what it shows you is they weren't expecting a lot of people to go anyway.
Okay.
And you can try to sell it, but there's also a timing element of it. They had to fit it in a window. Yeah, based on when they started spring versus the practice days available and the time off, it happened to conclude on a very busy day out there.
And it kind of got lost. I mean, it just honestly, Lobo football, the spring game kind of got lost with everything else. But with the Aggies playing for a championship that night and the state tournament going on and everything else going on, and we'll get there. We'll talk about it. We'll do a wrap up with Danny sometime this week. James says, can we talk about the Phillies, Jeff? Arizona women limped home at 5-5, including an embarrassing first-round loss in their conference tournament. This is as good a chance the Mountain West has to advance out of the first round in a long time. UNLV, as a 13 seed, representing the Mountain West, will play Arizona in the women's tournament. Honestly, I'm not going to pretend I watched a lot of Arizona. Now, I know they went deep last year. Do you like that matchup?
I think UNLV can play with them. The Lobos did.
Okay.
Like it's one, if you look at the box score, you're like, oh, they got destroyed. In the final score, yes, but they were not overwhelmed. And the guard play, Desiree Young inside for UNLV, yeah, the Lady Rebels, I think, can actually hang with Arizona.
Dan says the Mountain West Conference needs to cash Jeffrey, Juan Jose, Ana Maria, y Gato Roberto. With all the hype, it's going to be a massive letdown if Saturday we're talking on the Weekend OD about how all the Mountain West clubs have already been eliminated. It will be disappointing, right? I don't know where you see the best chance. JJ likes Boise State over Memphis. I think that's certainly winnable. I think they're all three. I think 3 of the 4 are winnable. I don't know that Wyoming's going to get through Indiana. San Diego State can play with Creighton. Defensively, they just got to be able to score. Colorado State certainly can play with an 11-seed Michigan, although Michigan's got athletes. And Boise State, Memphis is a really intriguing 8-9 game. Now, how you get through the second weekend is going to be a really, really tough path for all of them. Maybe it's Colorado State who's got the best path, but, man, I'll tell you what, that Tennessee that they'd be looking at in the second round.
SEC champs.
Yeah, that's a tough order. But March Sadness, says Tellus. In the meantime, Jeffy, it was hurting Lobo fans around here this weekend. Instead of being part of the madness, they were watching everybody else on TV. Remember how when nervous Lobo fan used to gather around on Sunday afraid their bubble was going to be burst? They were going to be stuck in the NIT again? How good would an NIT game this week feel right now? It's from Tellus. Well, you get one on the women's side. You get a WNIT game on the women's side, right? Tellus, I think they're on their way. I will tell you this, the feel around Mountain West tournament was people believe that Patino's going to be the guy that gets them back. People love the backcourt. This was a special year in the Mountain West. Transfers have played a big part in what's going on in the Mountain West. You look all around, UNLV, San Diego State, Colorado State, Boise State, certainly Nevada. I think this league gets better. I think you've got coaches that have proven that they can win. Alfred, I mean, don't you think Nevada will get better?
Yes.
San Diego State will continue to be good, right? UNLV has gotten better. I think this league continues to be good. I do. I don't think this was a one-year anomaly. I think this league continues to be good.
I think next year I'll take the under.
Under on 4?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
I think probably 2.
Okay.
But I think the quality at the top, there's going to be some consistency with those teams. Because I think New Mexico should be a team in 5th place. And you look at Colorado State, they're going to have a tougher turnaround with what they're losing.
Yeah.
You same thing for Wyoming, just Hunter Maldonado possibly moving on at that point in time. But UNLV and New Mexico, you expect them to take steps further. Coaching in this league is really good, and that's the thing. It's coaching and then bringing in talent. And it feels like the guys in this league right now, the head coaches, the staffs, they're able to find that talent because that's what it comes down to, having the players.
All right, I got more when we get back. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. I want JJ get into United's victory last at home. A good crowd and a two. They played Las Vegas 2-0. I was saying 2-0. I'm looking at my notes. I got LV, like 2-0 victory over Las Vegas to open up the season. Aaron Jones owns International Protective Service, IPS. They watch my home. You've seen their cars all around town. They watch homes, businesses. Started in 2006 just as providing security for some homeowners in Fort Hills. Now here they are 16 years later. Homeowners, business owners all over Albuquerque trust IPS to protect what they've worked so hard to build. Aaron's from Albuquerque. He's passionate about making this place a safer place to live and to work by watching your home, watching your business with highly trained armed guards and 24-hour patrols. They're committed to making our city a better place, to protecting, to keeping the bad guys away. Don't wait to be a victim. Call Aaron and see what they can do for you. The number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420 or visit ipsglobal.com.
You trusted your home or business security to a company with an armed response. They sold out to a national corporate giant, and you're stuck on the brink of less security. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here, and I care about your home and business as if it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours. With faster response times to catch criminals and less associated costs. Call 897-2420 or go to ipsglobal.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network.
First four gets going tomorrow. Wyoming will play Indiana. The first four, Notre Dame and Rutgers will play. Rutgers has beaten some teams this year. It's March. Enjoy March. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Rudy, welcome home. How you living?
Well, I did make it back from Vegas.
Wow.
Nobody got arrested that I know of while we were out there. So that's a plus.
That's a victory in its own right, yes.
Made a lot of money at the sports book this year.
Attaboy.
Yeah, actually took in an Aggie game. I was at the Grand Canyon game Friday night.
What'd you think of that?
I thought Grand Canyon being there added a lot of atmosphere.
No doubt.
I thought it actually looked like a tournament game, so you're right about that. I didn't go Saturday, but I had a friend invite me, and I said, I'll go, check it out. I hope there's no pictures of me. No. We sat around some Aggie fans. I wore my logo stuff, and it was all pleasant, because we're not playing each other.
That's right.
It's when you play each other that things change.
Yeah, those two groups of fans don't like each other at all either. And those two programs don't like each other. It's good. It's good.
It's good stuff. But I'm looking at the matchups, and the great thing is I'm ready for March Madness because I spent a week watching college, one game after another. That's the nice thing about being in the sports book, and we were real close. So you could just walk down there and hang out. And the only bad thing is they give you free beer while you're watching games and playing, the machine. So I actually won money on video poker, if you can believe that.
So you're the first guy I heard ever tell me that free beer is a bad thing.
It wasn't. It's not bad. It's good. But what's bad is this morning.
Yes,
and
I understand
back
that.
Yesterday. Because we blew it out. It was a great time. I think that the Mountain West, they always miss out on atmosphere when Lobos aren't making a run. And you know that. You've been out there, and everybody talked about it. My final thoughts are, I think Tony Padilla is having a really bad time in the bail bonds business in California, but it's now affecting his refereeing, and Randy McCall just needs to hang it up. That was the worst, most unprofessional I've ever seen an official act after he knew he blew that call.
But you're talking about the third foul on Jalen House, and the other officials came over to consult with him, and he insisted. Yeah.
It was a horrible call.
It was.
It's unprofessional. He should have been overruled, but he's the head referee. And I don't know. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Why is UNM always on the wrong side of bad calls?
Well, there were a lot of bad calls. I witnessed a lot of bad calls. Utah State's got a gripe. There were a lot of bad calls in the tournament this week.
But But not, Jeff, at one point the foul counts 21-10 in favor of Nevada.
No, it was bad. Let me give you this. So there were 49 fouls in that game. Okay, 49 in a postseason game.
And then you watch.
I was at the
San Diego State. How many fouls did they call?
So there were that game at halftime. There were 9. There were. I think it ended at 23. But it was one of the things at halftime. I looked at the stat sheet, and that game was physical. Now, San Diego State, Colorado State was physical. 9 fouls, and so my biggest gripe is the lack of consistency. You hear all the time they let them play in March. Tournament games, it's more physical, and you got one game in the same tournament that there's 49 fouls, and the other one that there's 9 at halftime. What are we doing, and how am I supposed to play?
Well, and finally, my final thoughts are: if Michigan plays the way they did the first half against Indiana, Colorado State doesn't have a prayer.
Well, which
if Michigan plays the way they played the last 10 minutes of that game, Colorado State's going to win. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Michigan. I mean, I had taken them in that game and figured they can cover 3 points against Indiana. They're up 17. I'm already counting my, 3-leg parlay, right?
You never count your money. Yep.
Yep. That was a painful lesson, and thinking that you had that one in the bag.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm glad you're back. We'll talk to you during the week.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
All right. See you. I'm glad somebody won. Rudy got free beer and won a lot of money. It's good living. Hey, let me hang out in your club. Hello, Grady.
Free beer advocates of the OT and the AM. What's happening?
Who isn't?
I certainly am.
Everybody I've ever met's favorite beer is free. What's your favorite beer? Free.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be cold.
It kind of helps if it's cold, but yeah.
Well, I want to jump in here about the high school tournament, and in the conversation, and I heard you when you and JJ talking about it, and I heard your little chuckle about how great it was. JJ said how great it was to have this event happening in one place. So, we've been to that conversation before, but I'll tell you, after the last couple of years with COVID, etc., even at the 8 o'clock game where we were at, it was an electric, amazing atmosphere the whole weekend, Friday and Saturday, and it really is something special. So I'm still trying to figure out why we only do this for basketball, but hey, maybe
we do it for everything but football. We do it for track, and we do it for baseball. We do it for everything but football.
Yeah. Maybe somebody will come up with a legitimate argument as to why football doesn't participate in this.
Oh, that's a good topic.
Yeah, but anyway, hey, gotta talk about the Panthers, the Pecos Panthers, that is. Hey, we literally and figuratively, we came up a little short against Manal on Saturday, and I heard you talking with Sebastian about that. Listen, they have 3 guys, Manal, 6'7" or taller. Their point guard was like 6'5". So there were some grumblings in the village up here about, because they're all international students and how it wasn't fair and this and that. But listen, not coming from this fan, our boys put themselves in a position to actually win that game, but came up a little short. Again, we had left a lot of points out there on the court, missed layups, missed free throws. A kid that lives in my house had about 2 or 3 of them himself. So, all you can ask for is to work hard and put yourself in position, and our boys were and just couldn't get it done. So props and respect to the Manal Panthers on their history-making run. It was actually a really exciting game and a great season for those boys and ours. And, just paying attention to all those games throughout the day, like I was saying, it was a really, really electric atmosphere. And I'm so glad that it was able to go on this year with, with limited or very limited restrictions, et cetera, and it was fun. I tell you what, I'm not a huge fan of that home side of the second round deal, but overall, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, maybe we get back. Good to hear you, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and give that kid that lives in your house a hug, and he had a heck of a season. So
appreciate that, and will do.
All right, see you.
Thanks,
all right,
gentlemen.
We'll come back, wrap it up. I got a Jason email, and JJ, want you get in a little bit on United's victory last night at home on opening night. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, Gato Roberto, Adrian on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Every moment from every game, from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized
So this Jason email, and then I'm going to get into a little bit of what happened last night. You can still get in 505-246-0610. Jason said this, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. Should probably send it to you, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Good morning, OD. Buckle up, Lobo fan. It's about to get smug here. Smug in here. Remember 2 weeks ago when Lobo fan had their shovels out and were burying the Aggies? A gleeful pack of Lobo fans were howling at Aggie misery, and to be fair, rightfully so. Heck, Aggie fan laughs at Lobo fan regularly this time of year, as the voice on the PA system has announced. Would Lobo basketball and his fans please report to its usual March viewing position? You know, watching winning programs play in the postseason. Shout out to UTEP for getting into a postseason tournament. Who knew you could do that in year one with a late start, Zoom recruiting, and a rugged Conference USA? I mean, after all, USA is big boy ball, according to Lobo fan. Still shaking my head that Lobo fan did not know UTEP, who the Aggies play every year, is in Conference USA, stating, and I quote, "The Aggies have no idea what they're in for in Conference USA," end quote, but I digress. The 12 seed for the Aggies is great, but I'm not ready to predict a 12-5 upset. UConn's good. They're really good. However, the Aggies do match up well with them. Jans, the man, is a master orchestrator, using his bench and getting contributions from key players, as we saw in the WAC tournament. Speaking of the WAC tournament, Team Talk A Lot brought fans, which made the environment great and loud. I give them credit for not calling the Orleans GCU Arena North. That's the lamest thing a fan base can do when your team does not win on said floor. While there are some programs that have been to the tournament 15 times in their entire history but swear the banners are coming, Aggie Hoops is in its rightful place for the 23rd time and 10th time this century. 10 times in 22 years versus 15 times in your entire basketball history. So how do you like them apples? Crimsonally, Jason. Guess your team's in and their team's not. You get to talk a little, huh?
Yes.
You cut down nets. They didn't. You get to talk a little. So there you go. All right, 505-246-0610 if you still want to get in. We got round 4 getting ready to start at the Players' Championship, so you will get golf today if you want to watch some sports in the office. I don't know if some of us get the opportunity to put the TV on. You got live sports today, and Paul Casey's tied for second, and Arabon Lahiri is leading the championship. 2-0 last night, United in their opener. You were out there against Las Vegas. Good atmosphere for Season 4 of New Mexico United Soccer out of the ball pitch.
Strong crowd, quality start, clean sheet at home, 3-point start to the season. Biggest difference you're going to see if you tune into United, speed up top. Got some playmakers, got some attackers. It's going to be very different for this team this season. Because, again, they were slow.
And that was a key, right, in the offseason. They had trouble scoring at times.
They got some goal scorers. So that's going to be a big difference for that team this year.
Was Vegas very good, or it looked like...
That's a game that you should open the season winning at home and keeping them off the score.
Next week, you get to go down and see your good buddies Locomotive down in El Paso, and you saw them a number of times in the preseason as well. But good atmosphere last night, and you got perfect weather Sunday, and 11,000 is what they announced, 11.2, something like that.
Yeah,
nice crowd, and so you're welcome certainly to get in on that as well if you'd like to. We didn't get into Cowboys. We talked about Tom Brady returning because, well, Tom Brady's returning. Cowboys traded Amari Cooper, and Kirk Cousins got $35 million. So put it in perspective, and I heard this come in this morning, and it was such a good conversation. Tom Brady's won 7 rings, been to the Super Bowl, I think, 10 times. He's taken less money. Now, his wife is a supermodel and makes a lot of money. I don't know what's enough. I'll never know. I don't understand $25 million as opposed to $50 million. I just know one's half of what the other is, or one's double. Aaron Rodgers is going to get $50 million, and there's less money to go around. Is that why Aaron Rodgers isn't winning Super Bowls? Because he's not giving teams discount? Because I don't believe that.
No, it's not as cut and dry on that. It's an easy thing to look at. Well, if a quarterback's taking less, then there's more money to go around. But you can always make things work in the NFL. It's just when do you want to take those hits? Do you want to take them now? Or do you want to take them later? But even if you're paying a quarterback a lot of money, if you got one of those guys, you got to go in. Because it doesn't matter if you're saving now because your window is right now.
If your window is now, yeah. JT, good morning to you. How you living?
Oh, I'm tired, Jeff. It was my birthday yesterday, but I'm happy.
All right. Well, happy because you had another birthday? I mean,
Because I was
congratulations
able
on getting
to
it.
celebrate my birthday, but I'm off today, so I'm recovering. But I spent time with important people, kids, grandkids, friends.
Good.
Hey, just real quick, I know you guys are up against it. So with this tournament, Jeff, even though, of course, Lobos, they're not in it, there's a lot that I'm interested in, so I'm super excited about the college tournament because 4 teams from the Mountain West, right?
That's correct.
Are there. And then we have, unlike, other Lobo fans, which, when we don't play the Aggies, I told you, I just root for them, because I want to see them do good, not against us, but everybody else. And then I got, I've always liked UCLA. So I got a lot of teams that I'm rooting for to represent because the Mountain West, when it shows up, if we show up, that just makes everybody else look better, right, or no?
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I think it's a big year to get a couple teams through a little bit. I mean, they got 4 teams in.
I hope someone makes it to the Sweet 16. I think when's the last time we had 4 teams in?
JJ, what, about 6 years, I believe is the number? I don't remember the exact. I got it written down somewhere, but yeah, it's been a minute.
So, I'll be ready for Wyoming and Indiana tomorrow. It's a great time to be a basketball fan. And the United, they showed up. They, did what they do, and the fans showed up. So we keep doing this, Jeff. We'll get a new stadium. I promise you that.
Right on.
So have a great day. I'm glad you guys survived Vegas. I hope you're able to get some fun in between all that work. And everybody have a great day.
Be careful out there. See you. Happy birthday to you. JT celebrated. Why can't I get rid of that? All right. We'll get into this more. I know we will. To validate the success of the season, the Mountain West teams need to do what? To validate the success of the season, to validate getting these 4 teams in, what has to happen? You want to think about it and then we take Ray's call?
Go for it.
All right. Hello, Ray. Hello, Ray.
Hey, I think the other Mountain West teams are going to do, I think they'll do decent, but Boise State, I don't expect them to get beat by like 15, 16 points. Leon Rice is a good coach in the Mountain West only, and look at his non-conference, what he does. And I don't even think he's 500 in the non-conference. He can coach the teams that he knows. They're all in the Mountain West, but he can't coach teams where it's one game and not. He don't
really
correct right. And I think they're going to get blown out by Memphis. Thanks.
See you. It's really interesting. Their non-conference record wasn't good. Was it because Leon Rice isn't a good coach, or because they got better?
Yeah, that's it. Like, Boise State's the team that I'm on, and a lot of people are not on Boise State right now. But this is the beauty of the bracket.
Yeah.
Because you think you got it, and then I'm going to wake up Friday morning and realize I was wrong on so many things.
All right, so we can have this conversation tomorrow about what they got to do to validate the season. Thank you to Greg Brown, Sebastian Noel, and Chris Jans, all guested on our show this morning. Thank you to Adrian for putting us on the air on ProView Networks. Gato Roberto's in for A. Marie. So we'll see you later in the week. Is that the deal?
Yes, sir. I'll be here Thursday and Friday morning.
All right, looking forward to it. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4. And we are back with more award-winning radio starting tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it, please. Be good to each other. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will smell you tomorrow.
technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Riley Ottman bodies that ball. Ava Love, wide open bucket. She drips through the air and knocks it home. So
out of the corner, no. Nora with the rebound, quickly gets it ahead to Louise. In transition, the left-hand layup is good for Luciano Webster.
oh, Lyra Corona, she has a chance to change that story. She does.
Diaz now with the ball. It's a three-point lead. Montoya, she tries to equalize. Boom! Olivia Montoya with her second three ball of the second half.
There's an assist from half court on the inbounds pass.
That's a long shot. The laser shot. Holy cow. Defense closes down quickly. Garcia Romero for two.
With the rebound, here comes Benjamin. Throw it up. He's going to throw it up to his big fella, and his third dunk of the night. Hey, remember, Greg Brown doesn't have any timeouts. They get it into Hill. Hill's going to have a chance to win it at the hole. Yeah! He does it. Hill bangs in the three, and the Hawks win it 60-59.